Listen to this phrase: when your mental mind gets better, your physical self gets better. Listen to it again. When your mental mind gets better, your physical self gets better. Repeat after me. When your mental mind gets better, your physical self gets better. As I'm sure all of you or most of you know, stress, as I think I said in my other video, can come from good things, bad things, any kind of things. But the stress, anxiety, depression, whatever, it's basically in your head. Not that it's not real, but it affects your head, your neurotransmitters, the serotonin, the cortisol, everything. It sends off bad messages to your body. Lord knows I know about that. Anyone that suffers from any kind of autoimmune disease or gut, like IBS, many things. Stress can make someone go deaf, blind, turn gray overnight. Stress is very, very powerful. But our minds are powerful too. But sometimes when there is constant chronic stress, the mind thinks it can't overcome this, especially if it's some horrific that has happened, or like now, what's going on in our world. It's a never-ending, the phrase that I just can't stand, the new normal. This should not be a new normal. This should have never happened. So whatever demons you're fighting, whatever problems in your life, in your world, there could be getting to you. And living in a world that is not the way we knew it could just add on to it. It can cause you not to sleep. Or if you're depressed, it could cause you to want to sleep more. The mind plays tricks on you. But you have the inner power in you, we all do. It's just hard to reach inside that self that was once you. I know when I used to have panic attacks, I didn't know what they were at first. It was totally unbelievable, unrealistic. I just didn't know what was going on. But once I went to my doctor and he explained to me and said, I could either try to work through it or take some medication. But he did say I'd have to take a high dose of medicine because where I had come with these panic attacks was going to take a lot of work, a lot of mental work. So you can save yourself. Yes, there are people that need medicine for anxiety and depression and other mental disorders. But even if you're taking medicine, you still have to help with your mind. And I know it's hard when you're feeling totally anxious, nonstop. Your heart may be racing, you may be sweating, heart just doesn't feel right, you can't breathe right, you feel like you have a lump in your throat. Or on the other end of the spectrum, you just can't get out of the chair. You feel like you're stuck in the chair, like there's glue running down your legs. Your feet feel like cement. You just can't get up. You can't imagine leaving the house. That's an awful feeling. And I think a lot of people are getting that way, who are at home, who don't leave, can't leave, or whatever, choose not to leave. It feels like with every step you take, your foot gets heavier and heavier. The thought of being out in this world, I know myself, I don't go out. I try not to go out because of my son. I don't like to leave him alone. But I don't want to be out in the world of germs. But I found that not going can make me feel that awful feeling that you can't imagine going out there. But then I remember a trick I used to use when I first had panic attacks. I would take a rubber band and put it on my wrist. And every time if I had to go to get prescriptions, that's usually the only time I really go out, I would snap that rubber band on my wrist, and it would remind me that I am stronger than whatever it is out there. I have to go. There's no one that will do it for me. It's all on me. And of course, if you have anxiety, your mind's going to be rushing and racing in fight or flight. Or if you have depression, your body's going to say, there's no way. You literally can play the whole, I don't know what you want to call it, the whole show right in your mind. The thought of leaving, getting your purse, your jacket, the car keys, getting in the car, driving there. No, you can't. Oh my gosh, it's too much overwhelming. I can't do it. But you have to. You know, my mom always told me that she was a working woman, and I came to her by her sister, my birth mom. She wasn't allowed to adopt me because of my father, but she took care of me. So she was a working woman and could never understand. With every pregnancy, she says, don't you want to have a life? I said, but Mom, this is my life. Or Grandma, as we called her later on. This is my life. And she couldn't understand it. But then when I started going through these panic attacks, and she saw how horrible it was, and as much as she wanted to help, she loved her job. Plus, she had to work. She couldn't afford not to work. She was married to kind of an awful person like I was married to. So she would tell me, because I would call her at night crying about this awful man I'm with. She would tell me, just look in your children's eyes and it'll get you through. And if some of you have lost your child or children, you have memories. That's one thing I always, when I write a sympathy card, I always say, no matter what, not even death can take your memories away, which is true. So now in this awful world we live in, especially now with what I'm going through personally with this, my body's on fire. I don't even think I sleep an hour. And a body going without, this January of 22 will be 3 years that I haven't had anything solid. A nice juicy burger. My favorite was to eat tomato sandwiches on wheat bread with mayonnaise, some salt and pepper. I have my gift card to Red Lobster still. I can't eat it. All the losses, all the things I should have done right away, but as a mom, I always put myself last. So between not being able to eat and just eating mush, and now my body just burning nonstop, I am so worn out, so very worn out physically. So I have to depend on my mind a lot to be strong. So it would be much easier just to forget it. Just don't go. But I knew I had to. And if you have someone you can depend on, it might make it harder for you to get out of that slump because you have that support person who they may think they're helping you, but at times they could be enabling you. I've seen that happen to a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends suffer from depression. They won't even answer their phone. They're so depressed, and it just hurts me that if they'd answer the phone and talk, but they won't. They just can't. They let their mind just go to rest. They'd rather just do nothing. We all have it inside ourselves, and it definitely helps with any physical problems that may already be going on. You have to depend on your mind. You have to dig deep into your heart and your soul. If you don't have any children, you have to think of yourself. I should be one to talk. Being a mom, Tate, I've always put myself last. Sometimes I just joke to myself and say, when will it be my turn? And then I just kind of laugh, like I wouldn't even let it be my turn. If someone said to me, let's say 2019, before the world went to hell, I hope I didn't offend anyone by saying that, but that's where we are. If someone said, here's a weekend getaway, we have this beautiful hotel and spa up on this cliff. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. How do I know this? Because my husband at the time gave our daughter her birthday party at that beautiful hotel that I'd asked so many times if we could go to. So of course I went with my son. We had a room, and the girls had a room, and I saw this beautiful place. He came back in the evening because I said I was not going to be alone responsible for teenage girls in a hotel room. So all day long with them, feeding them, ordering food in, going to the pool, making sure they don't drown, all the things, adulting as they call it. He finally came. So they had dancing downstairs, and they had live music. It was these two people that he played the piano and she sang. They happened to be there. And my friends from the other place where I used to dance at, I know they went there, they followed the band. So I said to my husband at the time, I'm going downstairs to dance. He says, good, go. Just like that. But I was too stupid in love to hear that tone. So I just went down there. But all the feelings, the heaviness, the worry. Oh, I'm very good at worrying. I'm the CEO of Worrying Club. But I went down there and I just danced my heart content. And then they turn on, I think it's on a cassette or some music when they go on break. And they have these line dances. I don't even remember what they're called anymore. And the guy in the band who played the piano came down next to me because he always saw me. And they didn't do this a lot. This is a high class. This is for all rich people, this place. My lucky daughter. What does that tell me? Their father is very messed up. That's a place he should have taken me to. But anyhow, it's a very high end. They have weddings there, and they have, oh my gosh, New Year's Eve parties out of this world. But every once in a while, someone would request a line dance, and he'd see me out there the first. He said, I want to be next to you. And they had it on their tape that, played while they were on break. And I all of a sudden felt the weight lifted off of me of the whole day, of the stress of these teenage girls just running around, going to the pool, in the hall, in the elevator with their little bikinis. I was responsible for them all. I'm sure another mother wouldn't be. I know they wouldn't, because this is how the hotel thing started. Her friend had a hotel birthday party, and of course I got a room next to theirs, and I took Polly, who was really young at the time. I was not going to let my daughter go to a hotel party. Lucky I didn't, because the mother and the grandmother were in the hotel room partying down with a pizza, and they went to bed at 8 o'clock. I found the girls in the elevator in their bikinis at 1 a.m. That was not acceptable with me at all. So I tried calling and knocking on the door, and I don't know. Did they take sleeping pills? Who knows? They were out like a light. So at that birthday, I had to be the adult. But I did. And that, my mind overcame my body. There was no, I'm not going to do this, or I can't, or this is too much. Because I went into mama bear mode. Not only was it my child I was responsible for, it was everyone else's. And that's why when she just had her brown eyes looking at her daddy and said, I want a hotel party. She got it, and I was there. And I did my thing, and I just kept in my head, I knew I was going to go downstairs and dance. I had brought my beautiful black dress, the only one I owned that I used to go out dancing in. So I guess to start to help in your journey of panic, anxiety, depression, whatever, dig deep, deep, deep inside you, maybe very deep. Maybe deeper than you ever thought you had to reach, and find something that brings you happiness and joy. It may also bring you stress. When I think of my happiness, it's my son, which of course brings me stress because of all his health problems and my limitations to help him because of the world we live in and the doctors not caring. But you gotta push away the negatives and the positives. And I think of dancing, and I think I'll never dance again. The world will never be the same. I would never. I would not, even with 2 masks on, would I ever go somewhere dancing. It's just, for me, my level of where I feel what's going on, I would not do it. And that's too bad because I love to dance. I actually was going to start a dance class. It was around 2019. I wish I would have. I didn't, but it's okay. And I've learned through this journey of this world turned upside down, I let things go more. I had time to reflect. I mean, I've been home my whole life raising children. But before, if I, didn't have an onion for something I had to make, I would just run up to the grocery store. Not now. Oh no, I think, do I really need it? Can I wait? Do I really have to do this? So it gave me time to think. And I started thinking those things like the onion. If something needs an onion, I got onion powder, I got onion salt. I'll just use that. It's no big deal. So if you start to think of things that seem overwhelming and seem like a mountain, it's probably just a molehill. So I want you to try this exercise. When you start feeling the anxiety or the panic or, the IBS or, whatever flares up, some things you have, or does the depression get you and everything looks dark? Find your happiness. Where's your happiness? And then think about what is putting you there. Like I know some people suffer from, immune disorders. I know I have chronic pain and this unknown heat, and I think the unknown is the worst, at least for me. If I had to answer, this is what you have, hopefully it's not life-threatening, and you got to live with it. But not knowing is the hard part. And the old me prior to the world falling apart would be constantly, I would be non-stop stress, non-stop, looking up on Google like crazy. But now I'm like, for this moment, right now, in time, this moment, there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. If the doctor doesn't call in the MRI, I can't just go in there and say, hey, give me an MRI. So I've learned to let things go. So I want you to do that exercise. Maybe buy yourself a notebook if you want to go through this journey with me. And right now in the notebook, I'd like you to write down what really makes you happy. When you start feeling whatever it is you feel that's not good, what makes you happy? And how far did you have to dig to find that happiness? And then also write down, if you want to write down every day, like keep a journal, or if you don't, if that gives you more anxiety, stress, or depression, don't. But usually, if you can fight through that and do the journaling, at the end it will help. Write down what for that day is overwhelming you. Like I said, for me, like today, I had it yesterday and today I had to get medicine. They're not the same day. And me before this world falling apart, I'd be so overwhelmed, like 2 days in a row, Why can't I just get on the same day? Now it's just like I deal with it. I have to go. Yes, I have to worry about my car and if it breaks down and my son's home alone and I have no one to call, nobody to help me. I just let it go. I give it to God. I used to say I gave it to God, but I don't think I really did until now I realize I do. I just give it. I just give it into the universe. I have to believe, and you know what? My faith has never been as strong as it is now. Things that I'm just seeing things that I didn't before that I thought I did. You really, when you give it, and if you're not a God person, just give it to the universe. And it really does work. I mean, I am amazed, and I'll share those things later on. Let me know if you want to go on this kind of journey with me, and me sharing with you what I've learned, what I've taught through stress management. And I'll be doing more videos like this, and then some relaxation, meditation, guided imagery, muscle tensing and relaxing, and all kinds of things. Let me know if you're interested, and would you be willing to really dedicate yourself to this, because this is a lot. I do a lot of looking into stuff, because like I said, my briefcase is gone, so I gotta rewrite everything again. So let me know. I hope this helps you. Don't forget to subscribe, share my channel, Sandy Mom. I'd like to grow the other channel, share that too. But anyone else you think these unstressing, I should say, sessions will help, because we're in for the long haul. That's my opinion. And if that stresses you out, don't think about it. Just think about today. This is today, and tomorrow's tomorrow. But I've decided for my mental self, I know this is a mess that's just getting messier and messier. So I've accepted it. And another thing that I've taught all my kids since they could learn to know what I'm saying is, there's always two choices in life: the right choice and the wrong choice. Once you make a choice or make a decision, there's no looking back. None. No looking back. If it's not really simple, but a simple example would be, if you're buying a car and you don't know which one, the Corvette, the sports car, or the family van, this is your chance. You can get this sports car you wanted, but you still have kids, and the van would be better. So me, of course, I would choose the van. There's no looking back. I made a decision, and I would stick to it. I've always wanted a Corvette. I gave up getting one when I got my license. And, I used to regret it a lot. Now, I just let it go. I made my decision. As my mom would say, you made your bed, now you can lie in it. I never say that to my kids. But my mom was a good person, just the way she said things. So anyhow, I hope this helps you. I hope you can journal. I know sometimes it's hard to journal. I tried to help my dad. He had a lot of anxiety, and I got him some meditation tapes. And, oh no, this is garbage. It doesn't work. It does work. But you know what? It requires work. So let me know if you're willing to work with me, and then I'd be willing to work with you. So for now, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps you, and help other people, because it makes you feel good. So for now, I wish you all peace and calm.